in here. Um, I am obviously not there with you guys today. I am actually at the high school on a high school visit. But we are down to the last 3 work days to get your case study research done and turned into a presentation. So I wanted to be able to explain to you exactly what it is that you are supposed to be doing. So you know exactly what you should be doing today and you don't wind up losing a day of work. Okay. So, after I'm done talking in this video, though, and showing you what it is that you are supposed to be doing, it is on you guys to be responsible and use your time wisely. You will be presenting your case study on either Thursday or Friday. I will do a sign up tomorrow for people who want to go first and get it out of the way to sign up. After that, it's going to be random selection, who goes where. So you need to make sure that you are ready to go by Thursday or Friday. And you've got to finish your research and turn it into a presentation by then. So use your time wisely today, okay? So, like I was saying though, what exactly do you need to do? The first thing that you need to do is finish up this document. If there are particular things that you can't find, or you're not sure what to put for it, or you've researched and you've looked and you looked and you can't find anything, it might be something that doesn't pertain to your case study. But get as much done as you can, okay? Once you are done, you are then going to take your research and you are going to turn it into a presentation that you will be presenting. So I made an example presentation so you know kind of what you are shooting for. And what I chose to do for my case study is something called hemangiosarcoma. And this is a silent killer in dogs. You oftentimes don't know that, well, you always don't know that your dog has this until you have very, very, very little time left with them. And so I'm going to tell you today about Putter. Putter was one of my first 2 dogs that I adopted. I adopted them in 2009, very shortly after I graduated college. And I adopted Putter along with his litter mate named Bogey. And I got them from Wayside Waifs, and I was told that they were Beagle Whippet mixes. So this one over here, this is Putter. And that one is Bogey. And I named them their names because at the time, at the time he was just my fiance, but my fiance, now husband, and I, like, we used to play golf a lot before we had kids, and now we don't have time for that, but I digress. Anyways, Putter was honestly, he was a super sweet and gentle dog. His favorite thing to do was to just cuddle or lay in the sun. He was like such a good dog. Like, he never tore things up. He never chewed anything up. He never ran away. He never got into the trash. He would let me dress him up. I used to put him in like little shirts and Halloween costumes, and he had a coat for winter. And he was just this super, super sweet, sweet dog, who just never got into any trouble. Him and his brother Bogey, both. So Putter had a perfectly normal life, nothing of any significance, until March of 2021. And in March of 2021, at 12 years old, almost, well, I think he would have been almost 12 years old. I think he was going to be 12 years old in August of 21, but he was really close to 12 years old. Putter just all of a sudden went blind over the course of 48 hours. Like, he did not have any vision problems at all. And then one day he woke up and it was like, he was just walking really funny and was going down the stairs really, really slowly. And I thought maybe he had gotten hurt or something. And then the next day he woke up and it was like he couldn't see. He was like walking into walls. He had no idea where the stairs were. He was like completely blind. And so we, of course, took him to our vet, who took a look in his eyes and was like, I don't see anything wrong. You really need to go see a veterinary ophthalmologist, which is like an eye doctor for animals. So we went there, and this eye doctor ran some tests and was basically like, there's nothing wrong with his eyes. Whatever is going on must be neurological. He was like, there might be something going on with his optic nerves, or he might have a brain tumor. Unfortunately, though, there's really no easy way to know for sure what is going on. So we just kind of had to like wait and see how things went. Well, by like the end of June, Putter's left eye had really begun to like bulge and he couldn't close it very well. And so we went back to the vet, and the vet was like, I think there's probably a tumor growing behind there. And he was like, I really think the eye needs to come out. And he was kind of hopeful that if we took the eye out, he was like, if this is just a tumor behind the eye, this could be what is causing his blindness. And if we can get the tumor out, he said, it's possible that maybe the blindness in the other eye will go away. Maybe he will be able to see. So we agreed, and in July of 21, Putter's left eye was removed. And then they sent the eye and the tumor that was behind the eye off for biopsy, which is basically where they like look at it really close under a microscope and run some tests on it and try to figure out what it is and what's going on with it. That biopsy came back positive for this thing called hemangiosarcoma. So what is hemangiosarcoma? Hemangiosarcoma is a very aggressive cancer that begins in the cells that make up the blood vessels. It doesn't have any specific cause, but it is more common in certain breeds. Some large breeds like German Shepherds, Boxers, Labs, and Golden Retrievers have higher rates of hemangiosarcoma, as well as some short-haired breeds like Whippets, Basset Hounds, Dalmatians, and Beagles. And if you remember, back at the beginning, Putter, we were told, was most likely a Whippet Beagle mix. So it is more common in his breeds. Symptoms of hemangiosarcoma depend on what system the cancer spreads to, but typically include weakness, pale gums, lethargy, decreased appetite, distended abdomen, difficulty breathing, coughing, vomiting, or red or purple mass, sometimes on the skin. Hemangiosarcoma progresses in stages. It starts localized to blood vessels. However, because it's in the blood vessels, it cannot be diagnosed until it has already spread to other areas of the body. So by the time you find out that your dog has hemangiosarcoma, it's already spread out of the blood vessels. So it's already like done what they call metastasizing. And so that's where they start the staging of this particular cancer. So stage 1 would be that the cancer is contained to a localized organ such as the spleen or heart. Stage 2 would be that the cancer has also spread to nearby lymph nodes and organs. And stage 3 is that the cancer has spread to distant lymph nodes and organs. Hemangiosarcoma does typically progress pretty quickly. It's very aggressive. So when it spreads, it typically spreads to areas with many blood vessels, but it can spread to any system, and it affects these different systems differently. In the circulatory system, it can make it hard for the heart to pump, to circulate the oxygen and nutrients in the blood. In the digestive system, it depends on what organ it affects. If it is in the liver, it can lead to liver failure, which is going to cause a buildup of toxins in the blood that can lead to organ failure in other organs. If it forms in the stomach or intestines, it can prevent nutrient absorption. If it is in the spleen, which is a part of the immune system, then red blood cell production can be reduced. So there's less red blood cells to carry that oxygen for cellular respiration. In the respiratory system, it can spread to the lungs, which can make it hard to breathe. In the excretory system, it's kind of similar to the liver. It leads to kidney failure, which leads to a buildup of toxins and which causes other organs to quit working. In the nervous system, it can cause like brain tumors or brain bleeds. In the muscular system, because the muscles aren't getting the nutrients and oxygen they need for energy, can cause muscle weakness and fatigue. And then in the skin or the integumentary system, it can cause like lesions on the skin or like they might bleed easily. The treatment for hemangiosarcoma is surgery on the affected organs if possible, and then chemotherapy can also be used to increase the life expectancy, but all other treatments are palliative, and so they're just treatments to like make the dog more comfortable while the disease progresses. Hemangiosarcoma is fatal, depending on how far progressed and how the treatment is. There's different life expectancies. So if you don't do anything, there's no surgery, no chemotherapy, the life expectancy is less than 6 weeks. With surgery, the life expectancy is about 6 weeks to 3 months. And then with surgery and chemotherapy, the life expectancy is about 6 months. But really, once you get a diagnosis of hemangiosarcoma, your dog does not have a whole lot of time left. So in Putter's case, he had what the vet called an abnormal presentation because his first symptom was blindness, which is not a common first symptom. So this delayed getting some of the right testing done. But once we got that hemangiosarcoma diagnosis, the vet was like, let's do an x-ray to see if this is anywhere else in Putter's body. And that x-ray determined that he also had tumors in his heart and lungs. So ultimately, it started in his eye. Well, it started in the blood vessel, but then it had spread to the eye as well as the heart and lungs, which are considered distant organs from his eye. And so the vet was like, at this point, it's stage 3. Obviously, we cannot do surgery on the heart and lungs. Those aren't organs that they can take out. And so that, along with his age, the vet recommended palliative care for Putter, and he gave us some prescriptions to try to help make him feel a little bit better. But ultimately, by the time we figured out what was going on with Putter, he was very, very close to the end. And so really just about a month after having that eye removed and getting, it was really probably only like 3 weeks after we got the biopsy results back, Putter, his disease had already progressed to the point where he was no longer eating, and he was just like laying there, and you could just tell that he was just suffering. So on August 9th of 2021, we did say goodbye to Putter and ended his suffering. And so that is an example. I know that's very sad and depressing, guys. I'm sorry. But that is an example of what you should be creating. Okay. Now my presentation was 14 slides. This would be like, if I was grading myself here, this is a solid 4. Okay. I'm going to give myself a solid 4 on this. If I could give myself a 5, I'd give myself a 5. But I can't. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go with a 4. Yours might be a little shorter. Yours might be a little longer, depending on, what you have chosen and how much information is available, how many systems your disease affects, that kind of stuff. But from your presentation, going back to, our original document here, and I know I'm talking a lot, so stick with me. Stay with me. Don't tune out yet. Going back to this original document here, I should be able to tell down here at the bottom, that you understand the functions of the different organs and body systems. You should show me that you understand how our body systems are connected and affect each other, and how the disease or condition impacts the ability of the system to function correctly. And it should be done in a way where you are telling, an engaging story about somebody that okay, or that is famous, something like that. So that is the goal. I am going to link this example on Canvas so that you can have an example to refer to. And now it is up to you to use your time wisely so that you can be ready to present Thursday or Friday.